Have you ever stopped to think about India? I mean, it's just incredible. So many languages, so many cultures, and so many different histories all packed into one place. So, the big question is, how did all these incredibly diverse people start to feel like they belonged to one single nation? Well, today we're going to get into that amazing story. And that's really the core question for our explainer today, isn't it? What is that special something, that force or that idea that can bring millions of very different people together and make them feel like one community? Let's dive in and see what history has to tell us. Okay, so the answer really boils down to this key idea, a sense of collective belonging. Now, this feeling, it doesn't just pop up out of thin air. It has to be built, brick by brick through shared experiences. And more often than not, the most powerful shared experience is a common struggle. It's that simple, powerful feeling of, hey, we're all in this together. So what kind of event could possibly be big enough to create that feeling across an entire subcontinent? You might be surprised to hear this, but the spark that really set modern Indian nationalism ablaze was a huge global conflict that started thousands and thousands of miles away. It was basically a domino effect. You had the First World War, this massive global event. That war had very real, very direct and widespread effects on India. And those effects, the hardships and the new political realities, they became the trigger. They just sparked this whole new energy into the freedom struggle. And this new energy, it didn't just fizzle out, not at all. It was channeled, it was organized. The whole situation after the war gave rise to two of the most important movements in all of India's history. So, what were they? First, the Caliphate movement, which saw Indian Muslims rallying to protect the Ottoman Caliphate. And second, the non-cooperation movement, which was this huge, nationwide call to boycott British goods and institutions. The amazing thing is that together, they were the direct answer to the post-war situation, and they completely changed the game by uniting so many different groups for a common cause. Right, so these incredibly powerful movements didn't just happen on their own. Of course not. They needed leaders with a real vision. And those leaders, well, they needed a plan, a strategy to guide millions of people. But here's where we have to put our historian hats on for a second. We always have to ask the tough questions. It's not enough to just know what they did. We have to think about it critically. Just how effective were the strategies used by Mahatma Gandhi and the other key leaders of this time? To really get it, you have to look at it from all angles. It's like a balancing scale. On one side, you have these huge successes. I mean, millions of people were mobilized. But on the other side, we also have to remember the immense challenges and the limitations they were up against. Evaluating leadership is never simple. You've got to have a balanced view. And this brings us right back to where we started, back to our main idea. The war, the movements that came after, the strategies of the leaders. All of these things were like ingredients being mixed together, forging a brand new shared identity for the people of India. And this quote really just says it all perfectly. It wasn't one single thing that did it. It was the various facets of the struggle, the protests, the boycotts, the shared sacrifices. All of it came together to finally usher in this feeling of belonging to one nation. So here's the crucial point. A national identity, especially in a place as amazingly diverse as India, isn't something people are just born with. It's actively created. It is forged in the fire of shared experience and a common struggle. That right there is the real foundation of nationalism. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. If a nation's identity is truly built on its struggles, how do these stories from the past continue to shape what it means to be Indian today? That's definitely something worth mulling over. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.
फ्यूचर का टाइम आ गया है, ब्रांड प्रमोशन का नेक्स्ट लेवल। वेलकम टू नेक्स्ट जेन प्रोमो। आज का मार्केट डिजिटल है, कंपटीशन भी क्रिटिकल है। सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट से काम नहीं, प्रमोशन होना विजिबल है। हम लाए स्ट्रैटेजी स्मार्ट, क्रिएटिव विजुअल्स, पावरफुल स्टार्ट। ब्रांड को मिलेगी स्ट्रॉन्ग आइडेंटिटी, मार्केट में बनेगी ऑथोरिटी। नेक्स्ट जेन प्रोमो, नेक्स्ट जेन ग्रो। ब्रांड को मिले फ्यूचर का बूस्ट। नेक्स्ट जेन प्रोमो, स्मार्ट प्रमोशन, डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में स्ट्रॉन्ग पोजीशन। स्टार्टअप हो या बिजनेस बड़ा, हर ब्रांड को चाहिए नया पड़ाव। स्टोरी टेलिंग से इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट, ऑडियंस कनेक्ट, दैट इज ग्रेट। वीडियो एड्स, ब्रांड इन्फ्लो, हर प्लेटफॉर्म पे ब्रांड को ग्रो। नेक्स्ट जनरेशन मार्केटिंग प्लान, यही है सक्सेस का न्यू स्कैन। नेक्स्ट gen promote, don't just promote, promote smart, promote next gen।
आज के समय में सिर्फ रिज्यूमे बनाना काफी नहीं है। जरूरी है कि लोग आपको समझें, आपकी स्किल्स को जानें और आपकी कहानी सुने। आज सोशल मीडिया पर जो दिखता है वही बिकता है। इसीलिए हम लाए हैं रिज्यूम एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो सर्विस, जहां आपका रिज्यूम ये प्रोफेशनल तरीके से या आसान भाषा में समझाया जाता है। दिखावे से बनती है आपकी करियर रेपुटेशन और मजबूत होती है आपकी सोशल रेपुटेशन। जब आप अपना रिज्यूम वीडियो सोशल मीडिया पर शेयर करते हैं तो लोग आपको सिर्फ नाम से नहीं, आपकी काबिलियत से पहचानते हैं। क्योंकि आपकी पहचान मायने रखती है। क्योंकि आपकी पहचान मायने रखती है।